Ladies and gentlemen, welcome everybody to the Author Sherry Show. It's been a very, very long time and finally I'm back. My name is Author Sherry. I'm a public speaking coach, founder and CEO of MS Talks, and I'm on a mission to create 1 million public speakers by 2030 in India. Today we have a very special guest and today's theme is all about Speak to Win. The guest we have today, he helps business owners reverse their age and elevate their health, fitness and longevity without trendy diets and painful workouts. Warun is a peak health expert, certified nutritionist and a fitness trainer. He has been working with people one-on-one for over a decade now, helping them achieve their health goals, be it healing from chronic ailments, losing weight, getting fitter, or looking and feeling years younger. His vast experience in working with people from around the world has given him deep insights into what it takes for anyone to achieve peak health, transform their bodies, and experience total wellness. In the last few years, he has been doing live boot camps for a more immersive and transformative experience. No matter where you are in your health journey, whether you are healing, maintaining, or transforming your body, he will help you shorten the learning curve. Let's welcome Warun Mehta. Warun is also the winner of Super Speaker Season 1 by Success Gyan.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it.
All right. Sorry, got some problem. Warun, welcome to the Author Sherry Show. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thanks, Sherry, and hello everyone who's live or who'll be watching the recording later on. And if you're watching the recording later on, you can always type in hashtag replay. So thank you very much, Sherry, for having me.
Great, Warun. Thank you so much. Warun, let me start by asking you, what are the top 3 learnings you had during your first win at the Super Speaker Season 1 by Success Gyan?
Wow. Okay. So many learnings, Sherry, by the way, so many. But let's start with top 3. Okay. You know, one of the things I found at each stage, and it was like a 1-year-long journey. And in each stage, it was really, coming out of your comfort zone. Before that, I wasn't very regular with creating videos or even being comfortable in front of a camera for that matter. Yeah. But, this journey helped me step by step get comfortable with the camera. And you know what? Every time I stepped in front of a camera, I've got like a secret conversation going on with the camera. I'm like, I love the camera loves me back. And so we've got all these incantations, affirmations. And the other thing is resistance. I started to learn how to overcome resistance. And I found resistance is the greatest when you're closer to achieving some massive goals. At every stage, from being selected into top 250, then 100, then 10, there's a lot of self-doubt. Yeah. But the whole point is you keep doing it at some stage, and resistance will keep getting higher and higher and higher. But your job, as in the self-development space as well, is to keep beating that resistance. So I found that every time I beat that resistance, I reach the next stage. And the third, I would say, and very important for me, is the art of storytelling. I learned the better stories you tell, the better of a speaker you are. Because, since ancient times, that's the best way to communicate lessons. All the learnings has been stories. People really connect to stories. So I found that the better stories I told, the better I was able to relate to people.
Marvelous, fantastic. What a great answer. So since we are talking about storytelling, I would love you to answer on the story of what is this X factor behind Warun. Usually we see the spelling of Warun as V-A-R-U-N, and in your case it's W-A-R-U-N. So what's the story behind it?
Good one. Yeah. Actually it was Warun. It was Warun, the usual one. Yeah. My grandmother gave that name and I highly respected that. But there was something inside me that I found over time it became such a common name. I just wanted to slightly different. Anyways, I've never followed societal norms and I've always done things my way. I've had the fortune and the privilege of doing that. And also when I didn't, I still just stuck to my heart. So something, it just came out of my heart that, it's, you just make slightly different. And also it's a funny story behind it. Actually, I was in a store once, I bought a pair of jeans, and when they put like your name in the database, and in the name, the Warun Mehta, the Warun Mehta came up, and there's like so many of them in the database. They're like, how do we identify you? I'm like, you know what, that's the thing. I know it's a very common name. So I'm like, there and then I decided I'm going to change that to W. And the other advantage was I got my own domain name. So you can always check me out on warunmehta.com with a W.
Super. And that's amazing. That's how the stories are. Sometimes you don't know what's cooking inside for you. And finally it came out as your identity.
Right.
So, good one. Super. So Warun, tell us why learning public speaking skills are important as per you, because now that you are the winner of Super Speaker and you have gone through that 1 year of journey where you were amongst 40,000 public speakers around the globe, and shining out and standing out as number one is no joke, and it's absolute challenge which you have faced. So you have embraced all your journey all the way through. So what do you think, what are the importance right now in today's time to learn public speaking skills?
Oh, great question, by the way, Sherry. I'd say it has so important. One is it's very important to find your voice. A lot of people, they have ideas, they have things to say, they want to communicate things, but they don't have a voice. Or that in the childhood, the voice was muddled for some reason. When they wanted to speak out, the elders told them like, what, this is not the place and time, or they subdued their voice. But instead of being aggressive, it's important to find your voice. And there's again a funny story behind it, Sherry, which is long time ago, this was, I think, a decade ago, I signed up for singing lessons, and the title was Find Your Voice. Okay, so I'm like, okay, let's do this. But you know what you're not talented in, you're not talented in. And after a while, the person leading that is like, maybe you're not meant for this. And so I couldn't find my voice in singing, but I found my voice here. So there are many ways to do it. And the other thing is, communicating your ideas in this world is the number one skill. Today we live in a world of ideas. Great ideas, when monetized, can make you millions. Also, great ideas can transform people's lives. But if you don't know how to communicate them, that's the skill you got to develop. It's very important. Not just that, when you develop that, imagine what happens across the board. You can communicate better with your spouse, you can communicate better with your family members, with the society in general. Your relationships get better, your finances get better, because in sales, communication is again very important. So across the board, it's extremely important to learn that communication skills and public speaking skills.
Marvelous. And I can clearly notice how effective your communication is. And there's every chance for you and every platform for you to win. And finally, you won it also. So great going.
Thank you.
Okay. And I also read in one of the posts on social media about you where you were mentioning about that you had been a disc jockey. Is that right?
Yes, that was a former life, but I still enjoy it. I still have a tiny little studio. I did it for a whole bunch of years, more than a decade back, and I really enjoyed it. Music is a passion. So I'm a certified nutritionist, right? In nutrition, we call this primary food. So secondary food is what's on a plate, what we eat. And primary food is something that nourishes you much deeply, like your relationships, your meaningful work, your spiritual relationship with the universe. So this comes under that meaningful work. It comes under creativity, fun, play. When we have that kind of primary food, something you love to do, it shows. You'll start radiating, you'll start communicating differently with people, you'll be happier. So it just makes me happy. And music has been a big passion for me, and I was a DJ, and I still am. Whenever I get the opportunity, I still play, and I would love to play all my life.
Amazing. Music is always an integral part of the life, and superb. Okay, Warun, what was going through your mind coming back to the Super Speaker Season 1, since our theme today is Speak to Win, and we have a community of public speakers who are watching you and who are going to understand through you that what was your mindset that time? Because, when you enter into a competition, there is a mindset which helps you to win and which helps you stand out and have a chance in the competition. So what was going through in your mind that time? If you can just tell us.
So, Sherry, this was over several stages,
Yeah.
over a year, and every stage was submitting videos, and there were many challenges online, and it was only the top 10 that were invited to do this live in Chennai. So
Okay.
at every stage for me, it was just doing the best I can. And I do suffer with the perfectionist syndrome. So every video, I wanted it to be perfect. Everything I wanted to be perfect. So wherein a year ago, I was like memorizing stuff. And I was like, okay, it's got to be absolutely right.
Yeah.
But after a year, what it came down to was really, hard. And, I heard you, Sherry, as well in one of your talks. You mentioned that don't memorize, internalize.
Yeah.
And my takeaway from that is really come from your heart, So it's about being authentic. And what I realized over time, the mindset became just be authentic, just be you, just come from your heart. And what really helps is when you got support. Like my wife is like my pillar of strength, and she's huge support.
Wow.
And the other mindset I have is like my mother, I would say since 2-3 decades, she's been telling me that, you meant for this. And I always dismissed it. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm doing it in my own way as a DJ, or I'm doing other things, running other businesses. But you know how what your parents envision for you can become so true because they know you better than you do yourself.
Yeah.
And so, all these things. And it was never about the competition, to be honest. It was never about that I've got to be better than someone else. It was every stage, I just wanted to kill my own demons, overcome my own demons, overcome my own resistance. And at the end of the day, I would say is I've slayed that dragon. Slayed that dragon of resistance. That's it.
Amazing. As they say, there's no enemy outside, it's the enemy inside. So if there is no, so if there's no enemy inside, the enemy outside cannot harm you.
Absolutely.
Super. What a great answer. Okay, Warun. So now that you are a winner and now that people have started seeing you as a public speaker, so what are your plans now as a public speaker? Would you like to go for a journey of a professional speaker with Success Gyan or any other platform, or what are your thoughts on it?
So definitely going with Success Gyan, because one of the perks was that you become a Success Gyan trainer. And having that platform is absolutely amazing. I've attended some of the programs. I've known Suren for a while as well. And what they do is absolutely world class. And they, Sherry, you also follow them. They come from heart. They really come from the heart. They really do genuine world class work. And I've met their trainers, and they're all actually genuine people. You talk about Siddharth, you talk about Rajiv, you talk about Pooja, China, Priyank, all of them, they genuinely are there to help people. And having that stellar company would be phenomenal. I mean, I get emotional just thinking about it, that I'm going to be in that stellar company. So my goals with that is just to take my message wider. So I was already doing that, but I just will be able to take that on a wider scale. And in the process, learn from the best. And one of the missions that Suren has, which is to take India's best to the world and to inspire the world as well. So I definitely want to be an integral part of that, really shine India's name across the world, that Indian trainers, so far it used to be the best trainers used to come from the States, and then the UK, and then Australia. But now we can show that some of the best trainers in the world can come from India.
Marvelous. And in fact, I'm already following Success Gyan. I already know Surinder, who's a good friend. And I know for a fact that they are doing fantastic work in bringing out some fantabulous things from the trainers around the world. And Rajiv, Sids, Priyank, they all are connected with me. The other two ladies, I'm still yet to meet both of them. But I know the people are fabulous. They have a great team. And Success Gyan is truly a marvelous platform for anybody to learn.
That's true.
So thanks to Success Gyan and Surinder also, if you're watching this live.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay, great. Okay, Warun, now since we're talking about the subject of public speaking, I overheard from a lot of people that public speaking is a very narrow niche, because the broader niche is all about communication. And as we know that public speaking is the branch of communication. So what do you feel that what can help you stand out as a public speaker using your communication? Or I would say, what can be the winning or a success mantra for any public speaker to get successful? If you can throw some light on that.
Another great question. And I've only recently started thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I think I'm going to get asked these kind of questions. So, but look, one of the very important things, Sherry, and you would know that better than anyone, is being authentic. Okay. When you're out there, when you're in the public domain, you're on a stage, you're helping people transform their lives, people can smell whether you're being authentic or not. People are smart today. They're exposed to everything. They can smell what's not authentic. So if you're authentic, if you're in integrity, they will respect that. So that would be number one. Second, I would say is definitely be an example. Be an example of what you're teaching. Like, I'm in the wellness, health, fitness industry. If I'm out of shape and if I'm on a stage, imagine what people are going to think, right? They're like, okay, you know what? He's not being an example of what he's teaching. Why should I learn from him? You know, it's like a wealth coach who's saying that I can help you create great wealth. But if I ask for their own personal balance sheet and they haven't created that wealth, they're being inauthentic and they're not being an example of what they're teaching.
Yeah.
So I certainly find that is extremely important. And then third, something that I alluded to before is come from your heart. Okay. Great communication, great public speaking is not about memorizing. You know, there's a difference between a newsreader and a speaker.
True.
Okay. So we're not out there being robotic. We're out there connecting. So whatever flows from your heart, people will connect to that. And your entire experience, your life experience will come into play then. Otherwise, you'll be very, very narrow. So I would say these three things that I've learned over time that helped me win.
Great answer. In fact, I'm loving all your answers, and so do, I'm sure, the audience watching you live and listening to you. Great, superb. So Warun, now, I'm sure you must be fond of reading some books. Are you fond of books?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Love it.
So what do you think can be a good top recommendation for any public speaker? And as per you, as per your experience, if I ask you to recommend any top 3 books into any genre of public speaking or communication or self-development, what can be those 3 books as per you? I know there are a lot of good books, but any top 3 books which comes to your mind that yes, all the public speakers, since we're talking about the community of speakers, that they should definitely learn read these 3 books.
Okay. So in public speaking, I would not know top 3 books, but I tell you the book that I did read throughout this journey, and that's Talk Like TED.
Talk Like TED. Okay.
Yes, Talk Like TED. I don't remember the author's name.
Yeah, Carmine Gallo.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So Talk Like TED, that really helped. I took down a lot of notes and I tried to, although that book is more about how to speak on TED and that TED platform is about 18 minutes and things like that. However, there are a lot of takeaways because in this program, we never had 18 minutes platform. It was just 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And I tell you what, I think 2-3 minutes is more challenging. And it's like an elevator speech, right? You got to be able to summarize what you want to say, your life experience and everything within that time frame. And that's even more challenging. And as we move ahead in times, no one's got time for 15 minutes, 18 minutes. People don't have that kind of attention span. You know, look at the Insta Reels, for example.
Yeah.
You know, and the other thing is no one wants to be taught. No one, because there's such abundance of knowledge. People want edutainment, you know, they want to learn in an entertaining format. And that's another reason why you got to learn all these skills, you know, maybe a little bit of stand-up comedy, maybe, you know, just being lighthearted and fun and being different and being you. Don't be a carbon copy of anyone for that matter. So to answer your question, Sherry, Talk Like TED. And in speaking, I would not know because I haven't read any of the book, to be honest, but I did watch a bunch of TED videos. I did watch a bunch of YouTube videos, and I took everything that resonated with me. I didn't take everything 100% on the face value. I took everything that resonated with me and that helped me bring out the best in me.
Marvelous, marvelous. Thank you very much for sharing all that insight with us. And Warun, now one last question from you from your own field, which is wellness and nutrition. which is the need of the hour. I also believe in that because a lot of people are not very careful about their health. And I feel that your one last message in this interview can help them at least awaken the giant within, how they can be back on the floor, either it's a health club or the gym, or they can follow the right nutrition. If you can just motivate all of us and sharing something which you do, which you're an expert in.
Sure. So there are three things I help people in, Sherry.
Yeah.
One is to achieve peak health. And to peak health is because, to be honest, there is no living to your potential when you don't have health. People talk about living to your potential, do these things, do that things, but only people that don't have health, they know how they suffer. Because I know I was a sick child, I was a sick teen, I was never well throughout my life. So I've suffered and I know pain, but at the same time, I know joy of healing. I know joy of, surpassing that, of breaking through that as well. So that's one of my missions, to help achieve people have peak health because of those things, right? The second is body transformation. And, I have this thing on my computer, you can't see it, and I'll read it here. And it's a statement by Socrates, which says, "It is a shame for a man or a woman to grow old without seeing the beauty and strength of which their body is capable." Okay? Wow. And it is an absolute shame, Sherry. Just like David saw Goliath in a stone, Michelangelo saw David in a stone. Today, after doing this over a decade, I see that potential in everyone. And I want people to accomplish that. Everyone wants their dream body. And why shouldn't they? Because that's part of living their potential, right?
Yeah.
That's part of it. The confidence that gives you. And I tell you what, if you're in that peak energy state, if you have the body of your dreams, when you're on your stage, your confidence level skyrockets. It just makes a whole lot of difference. I know a lot of people don't really connect those dots there because it's not just about talking, it's about being examples. So when you're there on the stage and when you're in the best shape of your life, imagine the confidence that will give you. So I strongly believe that. And the third is reverse aging, which you started with. And that is because, Sherry, I would say people today are living too short and dying too long. It's like we've got very few decades of life where we're productive, where we're enjoying our life because our body is supporting us. And the rest of the decades is just about managing our health, trying not to die. Yeah. So that's another mission of mine, is for people to help expand and extend their lifespan. And today, science is making it possible. Our lifestyle is making it possible. There's so much knowledge and information making it possible. Today, and here's the thing, Sherry. This year I turned 50. Okay. And yes, this is what I talk about, being an example. You
don't look like one, for sure.
Thank you, Sherry. Thank you. And that is what I'm saying. So if you're an example of what you're talking about, what you're teaching, and if you get on stage, it makes a lot of difference. And with the third aspect, the reverse aging that I talked about, I think everyone deserves it. Everyone deserves to extend their lifespan. And imagine if you can live to a magnificent, youthful 100 and beyond. My goal is different. My goal is way beyond. My goal is 150. I know that it sounds ridiculous, but every year you live longer, science is going to make that possible. But it's not that you mess with your lifestyle and your diet and you don't move and you do fundamental mistakes, then science cannot help you. But if you take care of the basics, the science is going to help you as well. And this is another thing that I work with, which is bringing in the old wisdom, everything that works, along with the new technology, all the new things the science is saying, including biohacking and all that.
Amazing. I'm just loving the answers, and you just amazed me with the kind of health you have maintained, for sure.
Thank you.
So great, Warun. It was a pleasure talking to you all the way through, and you have really given some comprehensive answers around health, nutrition, public speaking, and your journey about how you have won this entire competition with Success Gyan, and how had been your journey all the way through.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for your valuable time. We really appreciate all your deep insights and inputs to all the public speakers and the community of Public Speaking University. One final message, if you have to give to all of us being into public speaking domain, any one single message if you wish to give to us.
So something that I mentioned before is always come from your heart. always. And I know it takes time to get that, because when we start, we're nervous, we want to memorize things, you know, and it takes a lot of time to get comfortable with the camera, to get comfortable on the stage. But you know what? One step at a time, one step at a time. Seek guidance. Sherry is there. He's doing great work as well. So
Thank you.
seek guidance and get out there. Get out there, get out of your comfort zone. It's going to impact every area of your life.
Fantastic. Great. Thank you so very much, Warun. It was a pleasure talking to you, and hope to have many such meaningful conversations with you in the future as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining in.
Thank you, Sherry. Thank you.